a ripe fig tree can turn a quiet morning into a political emergency. Several male chimpanzees are feeding in the branches when one adult male drops to the ground, his hair standing out, his arms swinging wide. He charges past the trunk, slaps the earth, and sends a younger male scrambling out of the way. Another male gives a low pant grunt and keeps a careful distance. Near the edge of the group, one powerful adult watches the whole display without joining it. That second male is the one people love to call the beta. He is close to the top, strong enough to matter, and apparently free of the full burden carried by the alpha. It sounds like an ideal arrangement, access to the benefits of rank without the stress of defending first place. But there is no solid evidence that second-ranking male chimpanzees, as a class, live longer than alphas. That claim blends together two different stories. In wild baboons, alpha males have been found to show higher stress hormone levels than the males directly below them. In chimpanzees, high rank can also bring real physical and social costs. Neither finding establishes a lifespan advantage for beta chimpanzees. The useful question is harder and more revealing. What does a male chimpanzee actually pay to get near the top, and when does that cost become dangerous? The answer begins with a word that sounds simpler than it is: rank. Chimpanzees do have dominance hierarchies, especially among adult males. But an alpha male is not crowned once and then left alone on a permanent throne. His position is inferred from repeated behavior: who yields during confrontations, who receives submission signals, who wins support when a conflict breaks out, who gets displaced from food, and who can move through the group without being challenged. Over time, those patterns create an order. Even then, the order is not a clean ladder. Chimpanzees live in fission-fusion communities. The whole community shares a territory, but the animals divide into small temporary parties that change through the day. A male can travel with 3 companions in the morning, find a dozen chimpanzees at a fruit tree after lunch, and encounter a completely different mix by late afternoon. Every reunion creates another chance for rank to be tested, displayed, ignored, or renegotiated. So beta is not a stable kind of chimpanzee. It is simply the label for one male's current position relative to the others. In one community, the second-ranking male may be the alpha's most dependable coalition partner. In another, he may be the rival most likely to challenge him. He may be a young male climbing fast, an older male losing ground, or a politically skilled adult who stays high without trying to seize the top spot. Those lives carry very different risks. The top position brings rewards that are easy to see. High-ranking males usually have better access to mating opportunities. They can interfere with rivals, stay close to sexually receptive females, and influence whether other males can maintain a consortship. They also tend to receive more deference. When food is limited or a tense party forms around a valuable female, that deference can matter immediately. Yet alpha status does not give a male total control over reproduction. Female chimpanzees mate with more than one male. Lower-ranking males can sometimes gain access through timing, distance, or temporary consortships away from the biggest competitors. A high-ranking male may father more offspring on average, but he is not the only male with a route to reproductive success. The rank itself can also mean different things depending on the moment. A male may outrank another in a direct encounter, yet rely on that same male during a fight against a third rival. He may receive submission signals while still losing access to a particular female because the party has split and she has traveled away with another male. He may look dominant at a crowded feeding site, then become cautious when he is alone with 2 well-coordinated opponents. Field researchers build rank from repeated patterns precisely because no single display, chase, or feeding event can explain the whole relationship. Lower-ranking males are not waiting passively for the hierarchy to hand them a chance. The fission-fusion system creates openings. A smaller party can move away from the main group. A male can form a temporary consortship with a receptive female outside the immediate reach of the highest-ranking competitors. Younger males can sometimes reproduce more than their rank would seem to predict, particularly when they use those openings instead of trying to win a direct contest they are unlikely to win. This does not make low rank comfortable. It shows that chimpanzee success has more than one route. That flexibility is another reason a male's place on the ladder cannot be treated as a medical diagnosis. Two males with the same ordinal rank can be living completely different lives. One may have a stable alliance, frequent access to valuable parties, and enough experience to avoid needless fights. The other may be newly arrived at that rank, surrounded by rivals, and carrying injuries from the climb. Rank names the outcome of social interactions. It does not capture the entire path that produced it. That distinction changes the job description of an alpha. He is not merely trying to win. He is trying to keep other males from finding openings. A male who holds the top position must pay attention to ambitious rivals, especially when receptive females are present. He may need to display, chase, threaten, intervene, or recruit support. He has to read the mood of the group because a conflict that looks small can become expensive when a third male joins in. One badly timed alliance can turn a dominant male's advantage into a weakness. Chimpanzee power is often built through coalitions. A male may be physically formidable, but strength alone does not guarantee rank. Allies can back him during fights, join a display, or make it costly for a rival to push too far. Grooming, proximity, tolerance, and repeated support all help shape these relationships. None of that requires chimpanzees to hold human-style political theories. They learn who is useful, who is dangerous, who returns support, and who disappears when trouble begins. That makes the alpha position less like being the strongest animal in the forest and more like standing at the center of a system that needs constant maintenance. The male at the top may receive the best view, but he also has the most individuals watching for a slip. The strain shows up in several ways. One is aggression. In some wild chimpanzee populations, high-ranking males are more involved in aggressive competition. That does not mean they are aggressive every minute, and it does not mean aggression alone creates rank. But maintaining access to mates and responding to challenges can demand repeated bursts of high-cost behavior, charging, chasing, fighting, displaying, and staying alert when the group is unstable. Another is physiology. Cortisol is often called the stress hormone, but that shorthand can mislead. Cortisol helps mobilize energy. It rises when an animal needs to respond quickly to a threat, a fight, a shortage of food, or another demanding event. A brief spike can be useful. A chimpanzee confronting a rival needs fuel for action. The concern is not that cortisol exists. The concern is whether repeated demands leave too little time for recovery. People often want a simple ranking chart. Alpha equals stressed. Beta equals relaxed. Low-ranking male equals defeated. Wild chimpanzees do not cooperate with that chart. Hormone patterns can change with the stability of the hierarchy, the intensity of mating competition, recent aggression, and the particular community being observed. In some settings, males near the top show higher glucocorticoid levels. In others, instability raises the cost for males across the hierarchy. The pressure comes from the social situation, not from a universal badge pinned to one rank. Health tells a similarly uneven story. In one wild chimpanzee community, higher-ranking males were associated with greater richness of certain intestinal parasites. That result is important because it shows that high status can have biological trade-offs. It is not a verdict that alpha males are doomed to poor health. The males who rose high may also differ in age, condition, behavior, exposure, and social activity. Field data can reveal a pattern without turning it into a courtroom confession against rank itself. The same caution applies to injuries, A top male may be more exposed to serious fights because he is involved in the conflicts that shape the hierarchy. But a low-ranking male may face harassment, exclusion, or the danger of avoiding others in a habitat where company can offer protection. A male in the middle may avoid some of both, or he may be trapped in the most volatile role of all, close enough to threaten the alpha, but not secure enough to relax. That is the real weakness in the beta advantage story. Second place is not a peaceful balcony. It can be the launch pad for a challenge. Picture the male standing at the edge of the fig tree party. He has enough status that others yield to him. He has access to allies. He may eat before several lower-ranking males. From a distance, his life looks like a bargain. But he is also the male the alpha has the most reason to monitor. If he gathers support, wins too many confrontations, or becomes more attractive as a coalition partner, he can become a threat. The closer he gets to first place, the more attention he may draw. The position is especially risky during a rank transition. An aging alpha may lose support. A younger male may gain strength. Former allies may hedge their bets. Instead of one clean contest, the group can enter a period of uncertainty, with more displays, more testing, and more opportunities for conflict. In that moment, the second-ranking male is not enjoying the reduced workload of leadership. He may be doing the most expensive work of his life. This is also why it is dangerous to treat hormone measurements as predictions of lifespan. A stress hormone sample captures part of an animal's physiological state at a particular time. It cannot tell us how long that chimpanzee will live. Longevity is shaped by age, injuries, infection, food availability, reproductive effort, social support, habitat quality, and plain bad luck. A male can endure an intense period of competition and survive for years afterward. Another may be healthy and high-ranking until one severe injury changes everything. To prove that beta males live longer than alphas, researchers would need long-term records from many chimpanzee communities. They would have to track males across changing ranks, control for their ages and physical condition, document injuries and disease, and distinguish the cost of being alpha from the qualities that helped a male become alpha in the first place. That last part is crucial. A male who reaches the top may have begun with exceptional strength, good health, or unusually valuable social relationships. Those advantages could extend his life, even if top rank is costly. A different alpha might die young after a dangerous challenge, despite having been robust enough to rise in the first place. Comparing the age at death of former alphas and former betas without accounting for those differences would mix cause and selection together. The original idea may feel convincing because people have seen a genuine pattern in another primate. In baboons, the male at the very top has been found to show higher glucocorticoid levels than the male just below him. That is a striking result. It tells us that being alpha can be physically demanding in at least one kind of social system. But baboons and chimpanzees do not organize their lives in the same way. Their group structures differ, their competition differs, and their hierarchies are maintained through different combinations of intimidation, alliances, aggression, and movement. A baboon result cannot be quietly relabeled as a chimpanzee lifespan rule. Chimpanzees offer an even more interesting version of the problem because rank is only one part of their social world. Males form durable bonds with each other. They groom, travel together, support one another during disputes, and sometimes maintain relationships across years of shifting status. Those bonds can affect who rises, who remains high-ranking, and who has help when pressure builds. As males age, their social lives can change again. Older male chimpanzees often reduce aggression and spend more time in mutual, balanced relationships with important partners. They may no longer be in the best position to dominate younger males, yet they are not simply pushed out of social life. They can become selective, investing in partners who remain valuable and familiar. That pattern does not prove that friendship adds years to a chimpanzee's life. It does show that a male's chances are not defined by one number on a hierarchy chart. A chimpanzee male is not living inside a board game where every square has a fixed health score. Rank changes access to food, mates, allies, and risk. It can alter the kinds of conflict a male faces. It may influence hormones and disease exposure, but the effects move through the animal's real environment, through his own body, and through the relationships he has built. This is why the highest-ranking male can look powerful and still be vulnerable. He has more to defend. He is more visible. He may face the strongest challenges. At the same time, he may be a male unusually capable of handling those demands. The second-ranking male may have opportunities with fewer immediate responsibilities, or he may spend every day preparing to take the most contested position in the community. Back under the fig tree, the alpha's display ends. The males spread out again. One returns to the fruit. Another follows an ally into the undergrowth. The second-ranking male remains nearby, close enough to benefit from the order, close enough to be pulled into its next crisis. That is the more accurate picture of life near the top. Beta chimpanzees are not known to outlive alphas. What they sometimes occupy is a shifting position between privilege and danger, where the cost of power has not disappeared. It has simply taken a different shape.